What's up, everyone? Mario here from MARNAUT Watches, and today I would like to do a short video for you guys, pointing out the differences between the Dark Surge 1 version 1 and the Dark Surge version 2. So hopefully we'll be doing a few more of these in the future. Hopefully you guys will find it insightful. Any comments, questions, ideas, shoot us an email, and we'll get back to you. So, the Dark Surge version 1, which is here, was the first watch that we ever put out. So, basically, this was the culmination of my vintage watch uh, collecting experience. So, I think just like many of you, I was absolutely insane. Got bit hard by the watch bug, and I focused on the divers from the 60s and 70s, some from the 50s, but a lot of those watches are obviously Grail. And I would spend countless hours every single day, like a ritual, 3 4 hours, scouring the internet, eBay, Japanese websites, blogs, marketplaces, flea markets, wherever, and kind of learning as much as I could about that world. And I was really after the more obscure designs, the more weird designs, the non-mainstream designs. So um, after a good, close to 10 years of buying, selling, collecting, um, gifting, enjoying them, I basically built up a pretty deep database of watch designs, and especially divers. And I was in a position, being from the creative director slash brand development background, to try to do something of my own. And there the task or the challenge started, if you will. My main thing was, I basically had one rule for this project, and that rule was, don't put it out unless it's original. It has to be original. It has to be original. There's a zillion new brands coming out nonstop, and they're either homages or watches that take a whole lot from older designs. And I think the other thing you can say is that all the big boys, in today's day and age, the watches that make the most money for them are all the watches they designed in the 50s and 60s, etc. So it goes to show you, I think, how difficult it is to make anything original or something unique. Not saying that what I've done here is groundbreaking, but in terms of putting a design out there that I think can stand alone as unique and original, I believe we've done that. But so this was the first design we put out. This was the Dark Surge version 1, and it was a 42 millimeter case, quite substantial lugs on it. So even though it was a 42 millimeter case, it actually wore like a 44 millimeter, I would say. And the story behind that, the size of the watch, I would say, is a bit selfish, as the first watch that I made, I've basically made for myself. So I'm a big guy. It's about 6'4", 6'5", around 195 cm. So I made something that kind of fits on me and my wrist nicely. But having done that, I think I've alienated a lot of the diver watch wearing public. So but as a first watch, I think we did a good job. Um, the lug issue was there, the size issue was there, and one other thing that customers who bought and customers that didn't buy pointed out, which I think is a very valid point, is that the dial or the bezel and the bezel don't have the seconds markers. So we marketed this kind of as a dive watch. So obviously it needed to have the seconds market. So those are the few kind of comments. And in terms of the adjustments that we've made, you can kind of see them side by side: 42 millimeter, 41 millimeter. But I do think the biggest visual impact was the shortening of the lugs. So even though we went down 1 millimeter this way, the shortening of the lugs really made a kind of a big impact. So it's a bit more compact. It's still a robust watch. The lugs are shorter, so it kind of it wears. I think it wears for a wider audience, which I think is great, and it's still on my frame. Looks great. Uh, so the dial, we've also put the seconds markers. Hopefully you can see there. So moving the case from 42 to 41, that pretty much meant that it was a whole new development from start to finish. So new custom case design. That means that a new dial had to be placed in a smaller area. The dots that we pin through the dial and secure have to be repositioned because we're basically putting the seconds markers on the dial. The bezel, we went for a ceramic bezel this time. Again, that needed to be made, and not all ceramic bezels I would say I'm a huge fan of, but I think the way this one came out is nice. Used to be kind of a stainless steel bezel that was painted. I wasn't too happy about the bezel on the silver version of the Dark Surge version 1, and that kind of opted me to move into the direction of getting the bezel done with ceramic. Sapphire crystal, AR coating from the inside, large screw down crown. We have the gaskets and a screw down back case. 300 meters rated as well, just like the first one is. So that basically means that every component needs to be kind of tested and have tolerances to withstand those kind of pressures. So a nice robust watch for sure. And I have a exoskeleton of a sea urchin shell here with me, just so you kind of see where the design concept comes from. But I'll do a whole other video in terms of design choices, in terms of how this all came about, and all that kind of good stuff, and the process of and my process of kind of designing the watch. So those are the major differences, and I think lastly, but probably most importantly, to point out is that the version 1 had a Miura 9015 movement inside, and it has a date wheel, so not ideal when this watch does not have a date window. Obviously it should not have a date wheel spinning on the inside, a ghost date. For the new version 2, what we've done is that we've I guess you can say updated the movement. It's now running a Celita SW201B movement, which is a no date movement, and all the watches are made in Germany now as well. So I think we've stepped it up from that point of view as well. But those are the quick differences and the rundown between the Dark Surge version 1 and the Dark Surge version 2. Please let me know what you guys think, and hopefully I'll do a few more of these if you guys find them insightful or useful, and be in touch soon. Thanks for watching, and have a good one. Bye bye.